Carter, we're learning now the motorcade is making its way through Plains. As you can see it right there. You see some of the law enforcement standing by, and the crowds are standing by as well as they honor the 39th president. So they are there, just maybe moments away from Maranatha Baptist Church. There is the casket, there's the hearse taking Mr. Carter back into his hometown.
The train depot there in Plains served as President Carter's 1976 campaign headquarters.
Oh,
yeah. As I said earlier, almost the entire town is a living museum of and for President Carter.
It's almost impossible to see that and not think of Sam Donaldson, who was, you know, such a figure who was hovering around during that time.
Yes.
And so many of those national reporters who were big stars, and they were so influential in Plains in the way that they were covering the Carters. Every day there was seemingly something new and something interesting and something that had not been seen before.
And I would imagine that the residents of Plains had and have gotten very used to news cameras and people poking around who don't live there, who don't know anything about the city, but they're used to seeing strangers come in with microphones and cameras and all of that. And
today is the end of an era. I mean, it truly is an era that stretched
that won't be happening anymore.
From you know, about 1974 to 2025. I mean, that's a very, very long time.
You think it will influence tourism there in Plains, though? I mean, even if it lasts for the next few months or a few years, knowing that we're seeing this right now?
I think we have a short attention span in the United States. I think you look at, and Brenda, you may disagree with me on this, but you look at other presidential libraries where presidents are buried, whether it's in California with Ronald Reagan, or it's Abilene, Kansas with Dwight Eisenhower, or upstate New York with FDR. I mean, time in this country passes quickly, and we remember and we don't.
But I want to add that the Carter Center, and I may be jaded and biased because, you know, I'm a Georgian here, but the Carter Center is different from most other presidential libraries.
But Plains, I'm saying, Plains.
Oh, Plains.
Yes. The Carter Center and the Carter Library I feel different about.
Okay, all right.
But Plains
his hometown
is something that I think is going to have a hard time remaining relevant 5 to 10 years from today.
I cannot argue with you. I hope that is, you know, that it proves us wrong on that score.
I hope so too.
I think Plains has been very good to our national hero, Jimmy Carter, and they are deserving, because they've put up with a lot.
And such a symbol of the American experience.
They are deserving of good things to come.
And I thought Ambassador Andrew Young made that point that so many of us have felt, and that is, how did he do it? How did he come from here to there? And it is worth contemplation and reflection about how great this country is and what you can accomplish in this life.
That's right. So here's a live look once again. This is the hearse coming into Maranatha Baptist Church. It appears to be Maranatha Baptist Church, and the military is standing by. He's going to drive through that corridor of the military, and as soon as the military band begins to play and we start seeing a little bit more of the pomp and circumstance, which you can see everyone is standing at attention, we're going to pause as we listen in. Is slowly moving in, and once again, you see everyone with their heels locked to the military folks, and they're standing at attention. And at some point, you'll hear the command, present arms, and then that's when they will raise their right hand to salute the president, showing their respect. But as we wait for that, we should also point out that later on, around maybe in the next 5 or 10 minutes, there's going to be a missing man flyover, F-18 Hornet jets. These are fighter jets that the Navy use. They usually go off aircrafts when they're going out on a mission. You're going to see them fly over Maranatha Baptist Church as well, with one missing man flyover, which represents the former president as tribute to him being a Navy veteran as well.
He was a Navy submariner, meaning that you know, he worked on and helped move forward the technology that associated with Navy submarines. Rose to the rank of lieutenant, and then many years down the road, as President Carter, Lieutenant, then President Carter, had a chance to christen the most high-tech nuclear submarine at the time.
Amazing.
The USS Jimmy Carter. And that had to be a truly fulfilling moment for him.
He was in the Navy from 1946 to 53, and then came home to Plains when his father died to run the farm.
And that farm, the peanut business, specifically associated with the Carters, Carter ended up having to sell. After he finished his presidency, he came back home, and after putting his business and all of his finances in a blind trust during his presidency, when he came back home to his roots, he discovers that his business was $1 million in debt, and he had to sell it.
You know, you mentioned the battleship that is named after Jimmy Carter. In the months ahead, there's a battleship named for Sam Nunn, the senator from Georgia, from Perry, Georgia. And Perry and Plains are separated by just a few miles,
Really?
not too many miles, but here are two men, two contemporaries from rural Georgia who both have battleships named for them in 2025.
No.
You know, there's a lot. This is a wide look. You're like, why aren't they zooming in? This is part of paying respects to the family as well. They may be moving in now, but they're kind of staying back just to give them a little privacy. I know that Joe Ripley talked about that he's going to have to go dark. The media has to go dark, turn off their cameras, and not actually be there up in front of the family. And maybe this is part of that. It's just giving them a little space.
When the Carters would finish the Sunday service at the church, they would exit in the back of the building, and they would, be surrounded by Secret Service, and there would be dozens and dozens of people that were, staking out the Carters, and the Carters would be moving quickly, but, they still had time to sort of wade into the crowd and shake hands. And when I think of the front of that church, I always think about the back of it, because there were so many people staking the Carters
in
out.
the back.
Yeah.
He didn't want to
They got to
miss
come out
him.
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
here they come with those guys with the earpieces.
And all of the church members, to my point, all the church members had to put up with that, every other week when he was there teaching Sunday school. That's not a normal thing for any church, but the folks and the members of Maranatha had to endure that.
Yeah. And we're also told that the family is now getting into position because they're preparing for the Navy flyover. Those F-18 Hornet jets are going to be flying over here shortly. And I anticipate as whoever the photographer is, he's moving in closer to the military, focusing more on those soldiers, sailors, and Marines, and not focusing on the family. I would anticipate, and Joe Ripley talked about this, 11 Alive Joe Ripley talked about this, that the military band is going to play as well. It's all part of the ceremony. And then once they have the missing man flyover, then around 6:15 or so, maybe, because I know we're still a little behind, that's when they're going to have the private family funeral, and where the former president will be buried next to the love of his life after 77 years, Rosalind Carter.